So welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I have actually genuinely one of my favorite calls that we've ever had with the Quantum Leap Ecom Agency community. I had it last night, genuinely one of my favorite calls. Reason being is because we covered so much and it was, such a wide array of different things, which I know everybody watching this video right now, if you actually sit down and watch through this entire video, it's a 2-hour call recording, but honestly, it'll be one of the most valuable videos that you actually watch. We basically go through scaling your agency. We go through operations, a little bit more in-depth stuff, for example, building out sales teams, bringing on appointment setters and how to ramp up with those operations. We also go through live ad accounts. One of the students actually brought up his one of his live client ad accounts and he was struggling with some results. I basically just showed him exactly what we would do if it was our client, what we would look at, what we would change, how we would implement it, and so much more, right? We went through following up with clients, how we actually follow up with prospects, invoice finalized and actually get them onboarded. We went through so much and I'm super excited for you to go through it. So that's exactly what this video is. Now, one thing I do want to quickly mention just before we jump into the call recording, which as I say will be one of the most valuable videos that you actually watch, I can near guarantee it. The Quantum Leap Ecom Agency program is actually increasing in price. This is actually the most common thing that I get told from all customers of the Quantum Leap Ecom Agency program. Kai, you need to increase the price. Kai, you need to increase the price. I mean, I've literally got interviews on this channel where we've taken people from literally $0 per month up to $30,000 per month with their agency. We've got others going up to $20,000 a month, $15,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month, right? The Quantum Leap Ecom Agency program is honestly the best thing on the market, and currently it's $497. And on July 14th, right, mark the date, July 14th, we are increasing the price to $1,000, so it'll be $997, right? So right now is the cheapest time that you can ever enroll into the Quantum Leap Ecom Agency program, okay? And as I say, on July 14th, it is increasing to $997. Mark my words, it's happening. This is no sales tactic. This is purely based on what every single customer who joins the program says, and it's also based on the results that we actually get, right? We could comfortably charge 3 to 4 K for the program, again, purely based on the results. Now, we're not going to, because it's a beginner program that takes you from 0 to 10,000 a month. And I know that obviously beginners, I know myself when I first started out, I didn't have, 4 or 5 K to drop on a program. So we're not going to do that, but it is, it's criminal. Literally, it's criminal for me to continue charging $497 for the program. So we're increasing it. And as you can see with all of these results on the screen right now, all we do is produce results. That's it. That's all we do is we take agency owners from 0 to 5,000 a month to 10,000 a month to 20,000 a month to 50,000 a month to 100,000 a month. That's all we do, right? So as I say, July 14th, the program is increasing to $1,000, $997. So right now is the cheapest time that you can ever enroll into the program at $497. So if you've ever been curious about joining the Quantum Leap Ecom Agency program, now is the best time to do so. If you want to enroll straight into the program, click the enroll now button right below in the description. If you want to know more about it, you can actually book in a call directly with my student success manager, Daniel, which again, you can find the link to in the description. He'll walk you through the program. He'll show you how you can use the program to literally scale with near enough with your eyes closed, right? To a 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month with your agency by virtue of using the Quantum Leap Ecom Agency program. So with that being said, enjoy this clip pulled directly from the program and I will see you on the inside. Alrighty guys, welcome back to another weekly call. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you guys had a good week. And yeah, as always, raise your hand if you have a question and let's just jump straight into it. So first up, we have Ibi.
How you doing, Kai? You all right?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Just bringing on some appointment setters now. So yeah.
Nice.
Fun times ahead. I can just hop on sales calls now. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good place to be at.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like, I think when you're on sales calls, I enjoy them a lot more than doing like marketing and outreach, to be honest. So
yeah. And then you get to a point where you're doing too many sales calls and then you have to bring somebody in for that. But
mate, I wish I can get to that point, mate. Hey, in another flipping a few months, I'll be hopping on that Centaurian soon when I can afford it. So yeah,
for sure, man.
Yeah,
sure.
need Need to get that paid traffic locked in.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that's the point. Well, that's the point at which I've done it, right? Like as soon as you get ads locked in, you know, we're booking like 100+ meetings a month. On a good month, it's like 140.
Yeah,
You just can't do that volume
really.
through outreach. So obviously that's kind of why or why it's structured in that way. Kind of outreach to a 10K and then 10 to 100, you've got to get paid locked in. And at that point, you want to look at salespeople as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think. Well, I mean, I'm getting. Well, I've got two people from the Philippines who basically speak. I mean, they speak really good English. They sound American, to be honest.
Oh
And I'm
wow,
getting them to.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm getting them to do 20 looms a day each. So they're working full time, paying them like around about £600 a month, which I think that's a decent price to pay. And
It's a
yeah, they're
good,
going to
it's a good
be,
price, yeah.
yeah, they'll be banging out like 200 looms a week. So even if I only
Nice.
get like, even if I only get like 5 meetings, which I should get more, but even if I only get five, it's like, it's, um, it's good, man. It's good. It's just keeping up with it. And then, yeah, I mean, I've micro niche down, so eventually I'll have to get on paid traffic for like a general e-commerce kind of, you know, company. So yeah, man,
Mm,
it should be
100%.
interesting. But yeah, leading on to my question really is that obviously I'm getting quite busy with client communication now, and it's like to be honest, I don't really like speaking to clients that much. Um, so currently, how I've got it at the moment is that I've got my media buyer who's doing all the work, and then basically he reports to me what's happening, and then I report back to the client. So I'm kind of like the middleman, but I feel like I'm kind of wasting my time a bit because I feel like it could be coming directly from the source. So in terms of communication, I'm thinking about bringing my media buyer onto that Slack channel. I've never done that in the past because I've always been a bit like scared of losing the client and them, running off with it. But I just think it's a bit of a weak mindset to have that. So um, what I'm doing now is I'm going to get them into the Slack channel. So in terms of communication, what are your thoughts? Can I basically just sit back and let them communicate and me be out the picture, or how would that work?
Yeah, for sure. It's a great question. So I mean, you can get him to sign a simple NDA, right, before you kind of make that transition with him communicating. It just puts something in place, makes it a little bit more solidified, but also you should know yourself, right? The media buyer himself or herself,
Mm,
what kind of person they are, and whether they're actually a good fit long term. If they're a good fit long term, they're not going to run away with the clients, right? Because they need you and
yeah.
they want you and they want to be a part of the team. They don't want to be an agency owner. That's why they're a good fit long term. Um, so yeah, you can get them to sign a simple NDA. That's not really a big issue. I can shoot you the one that I use if you're interested, but that's not a big issue. In terms of the communication side of it,
Mm,
um, yeah, to be honest, you want to get to the point where you don't need to really speak to clients. I mean, we have an SOP set up for communication. It's just kind of like communication etiquette, and also how you actually handle different situations and what you should do. And one of the things that we talk about is never bring up a problem without a solution. Stuff like that. We have
mm.
an SOP around that for communication for the team. Um,
I
but yeah,
hate it when people do that. They bring up a problem, they never have a
yeah,
solution.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's so
That's one of the
annoying.
things that, yeah, exactly. That's just one of the things that we go through, or that I built out. It's just like, don't bring a problem to a client without a solution, because
Yeah,
otherwise don't tell the client about it, because if we've not got a
yeah,
solution, we can't do anything about it. There's no point stressing them out,
yeah,
etc.
yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely get them to basically take control of communication. And if they need you specifically, if you're needed, and this is what I do now, if
Mm,
I'm needed, then I actually I again, in that SOP that I have, I say at me or tag me if I'm needed specifically, if my input's needed, or if I have access to something, or whatever it is.
mm.
So then the only time you really need to focus on Slack is when you've actually been tagged, and you'll get a different
Mm,
notification for that. And it just makes it, yeah, much easier.
cool. I mean, so in terms of communication, would you get them to update them every day on what's going on? And also in terms of the looms, like when you were kind of at like that, you know, 6 to 10 client kind of range. I know you're much further ahead now, but when you were around that range, were you? Because obviously they can. I mean, okay. So my question is, with the looms where you updated them on say like a Monday, would you get the media buyer to do that, or would you
Yeah.
get them to do that? And then, right. So it's literally, they're basically running the show then, basically, right?
From a client standpoint, yeah.
Right. Obviously, right. Okay. I mean, what I want to get your thoughts on this as well, because my media buyer, I've mentioned to him about basically hiring, because what I'm thinking about doing is hiring some people from the Philippines to actually do to do the results. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay him like maybe £600 a month and say, look, just starting off, this is what you'll be paid. You don't need to have any media buyer experience whatsoever. Just, I'm going to be hiring based on like personality, and then from there, just have them trained up over like the course of 3 to 4 months. I think by that time, with intensive training, they should be up to speed. What are your thoughts on doing something like that? Because then that way, like I can, like my margins will be super high. Like if I pay one of these like people from the Philippines like £1,200 a month, that is like really good for them. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't obviously ever cheap out on quality. That's, you
Yeah,
know, something that I would never do. You can obviously you can get great talent in every country on earth. It's just a matter of finding it, right? But
yeah.
my question is, why you said you've got a media buyer right now? What's the issue there?
Okay, so I mean, he's got 5 clients of mine now, but he's going to be tapped out at about 10. So what I'm thinking of doing is having him as like some kind of like a CMO kind of person who trains up and
Got
coming
it.
media buyers. I mean, I don't know media buying that much. I've got Nick Shackelford's course. I still need to spend time learning it, just the outline, but I don't know. I just prefer doing a sales calls. I don't really like doing. I know also how okay, when I hop on a sales call, I know way more than the prospects when I'm talking about it, but they don't know that I don't know how to run ads, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, so
Yeah,
yeah.
no, the only reason I asked that is because I wouldn't want you to, you know, drop your current media buyer who you're paying a little
Oh,
bit more because maybe it's from a first world country and you know, paying him a little bit
mm,
more, but he's doing really well. And then you bring somebody on, just anybody else, and the results aren't as good, right? Because then that's going to harm the agency itself. But yeah, in that situation, that's completely fine. If you're going to like promote him to the CMO, once you hit 10 clients and then bring on a new media buyer,
mm,
and they're from somewhere of that nature, that's completely fine. Again, as long as the quality is
yeah.
up to scratch, and you don't obviously cheap out on that, because that's just going to come back and um, hurt you essentially in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of paying media buyers, like how much do you pay your guys? How much would you recommend that I pay mine? Because I've, yeah.
Yeah,
How
well,
much
you
do you
said
pay?
what, for full time or per client?
Well, here's the thing. I've got on a per client basis at the moment, but eventually I would like to transition them to a full time.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely where they're based ought to be taken into account. Um, you know, somebody who's in the US has to be paid more than somebody who's, for example, in the Philippines. That's just the nature of
Yeah.
it, right? For the amount to be the same, it's not the same number, you know.
Mm.
But you want the amount to be the same. You want to make sure your team's receiving the same amount, relative to obviously where they're based. I mean, yeah, that's going to range, but something like £600 a month, per month per client is perfectly fine.
Right. Okay. Yeah. In terms of
That's
pricing,
actually on the
I'm
higher side, I
charging.
would say.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of pricing, I'm charging roughly around about £1,500 per client, which I think is quite low, to be honest. I need to up that.
You do,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, because we're getting really good results as well. I was thinking of charging like so. I kind of I'm setting out my plan for the next quarter, and I'm thinking basically going for a minimum of 2K a month. Do you think that's reasonable, or do you think I should charge more than that? And
I would do it. I
yeah.
would. Well, I mean, dude, it depends on the client, right? We don't have a set amount, but
Yeah, I
our
mean, like as an
retainer.
average though, like a bare minimum, like 2K, we would get out of a client.
Well, we do. I would ideally. I mean, you know, you were saying before about you know, you're interested in Centurion, and you'll see in Centurion, we say about anywhere from 5 to 10,000 a month, per
Per
client.
client?
Yeah, now that's obviously made up of a retainer and a ROAS billable performance-based fee. But
Mm.
yeah, the combination of it, you'd want it to be anywhere from 5 to 10,000 a month. And I mean, you said you're getting great results. So I'm sure if you was to look at your clients, if you had a different structure in place with those clients, you'd be able to bill them 5 to 10,000 a month. You know,
Mm.
and that's kind of, yeah, that's the structure that we look at. inside of Centurion, as I say. So I would start looking at doing performance-based deals as well, so that you can do a 2K flat fee, but the performance, like all of our clients, the performance-based billable is way higher than the actual retainer, and our retainers range anywhere from 2,500 a month to 4K a month on like a flat, on like an average on the flat retainer side of things. That ranges, say, 25 to 4K roughly. But the performance-based billable is always more than the retainer.
Right. Yeah, because the way I see it now is like we're not just offering Facebook ads. Like, I mean, we offer Facebook ads as a service, but like we're telling them, look, this is what you can do to optimize your website. You know, we're going above and beyond. Really, I'm not sure if you guys do that, but it's not. We're not just offering Facebook ads. It's like, because if you offer Facebook ads and you send them good quality traffic and the website's shit, then like it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? So it's like. We're going
it's
above
not
and
enough
beyond
anymore,
with these
and the
clients.
competition, like this, the competition's obviously highest it's been. It's just not enough to do Facebook ads anymore. Yeah, for sure. And that's why in the new the new iteration of Quantum Leap, basically the new program that's coming out, I'll be going into depth in those side of things as well, because you need it strapped to your agency in order to obviously even just get client results, right? Like if you're able to increase their website conversion rate by 1%, then your results on Facebook or your, on Google or whatever your service is, they're going to increase because of website conversion rate increase, So it's good to be able to identify those areas and increase those, not only so you're more valuable to the client, but so you look better as well, and you get better results. You can charge more, scale further, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I just linking back to the next point about the previous point about getting somebody from the Philippines. Like obviously, when they're training up, they will make some mistakes, which is natural. Like say if we did fuck up on a client and we lost them, have you ever had times where like your reputation has kind of been burned and you have to kind of convince people to? Has that ever been a case or not?
No, I mean we've had clients drop off for sure. Like I've had to refund clients before. I mean that's just the reality of it. I wouldn't sit here and say that like we get every single client who comes on board the best results ever, because some instances, clients just for whatever reason, we push the boundaries as far as we can and just nothing seems to work. There's something going on, So yeah, we definitely have clients where we've refunded them in the past for sure.
Right. And then, also with the Facebook ad, we've seen that. So we've got a few ROAS deals, but since this iOS 14's kicked in, we've been hit quite hard. Have you ever noticed that, because for example, we've got one client, they've got their Shopify store, they've got no other traffic other than Facebook ads, and like this month, we spent $3,000 so far, and it's saying that on the Facebook ads manager that we've gotten back like $500, so it's like a 0.2 ROAS, but on the website, it's telling them that we brought in like 18K. So it's like, have you ever had situations like that? Because it's just really strange. Like it seems like we're getting.
No, we've not had it that bad. No, we've not had it that bad. I would say potentially something wrong with the pixel, if it's that bad. There's actually a student in Centurion who was having the same issue. He's using Segmetrics, and I was saying to him like, there's got to be an issue inside of Segmetrics or the pixel itself, because he had a similar situation where I think it was something like 20 times more was being reported in Segmetrics than Facebook, or something like, or actually no, I think it was the other way around. Facebook was reporting 20 times more or something like that. So when it's like that big, I would say that there's a bigger issue at play than iOS 14 in that instance.
Okay, all right, I'll look into that. No, that's instant. How often do you hop on these calls, by the way, with Centurion guys? I'm just curious.
So basically, next week it's going to four times per week.
Gee, how many people are in the course?
As of right now, I think it's like 50 to 55.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, cheers, man. I'll chat to you soon, dude.
Yeah, awesome, man. Sahaf.
Yo, bro. How are you, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, man. You look amazing. It's been a while since we last spoke, man. I just had to
Yeah,
take
it
a
has,
break because
yeah.
it was getting too much for me. And during that time, I realized that I really don't enjoy Facebook ads. Like, I don't like the platform. I don't like the ad accounts, like shutdowns, and I don't like the reporting system. And I realized that I'm more fit for like email marketing for e-commerce brands
Mhm.
because I
Mhm.
realized I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, right? I realized there are so many brands with no backend system, right? Because they're just so focused on the front end. They don't really like build a relationship with their consumers. And it's not as
Mhm.
if it's something dead as well. Like there's a huge like blue ocean there as well. Like, would you agree with that?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, I think it's great. Yeah, for sure. I think I mean, dude, we see it firsthand, right? We see the percentages and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, we have clients where like email marketing can make up like 30% of their business. And
Yep,
honestly,
exactly.
every client who has that like level of percentage, like it's a huge part of their business, they're working with an
Hmm.
e-com agency, an email marketing agency. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Like the only, Facebook is just one way, right? It's not the
Yeah.
only way. It's not, sorry, it's just one service. It's not the only service. It's just one
Hmm.
of the services.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think email marketing is a great alternative.
Yeah, and
Not even
as
an
of now,
alternative. It's just another great service overall.
yeah, I just wanted to like, because I understand it a lot, right? Because at first I thought I was just proper stupid and retarded on it, but then I started speaking to like my accountability partner, who's actually in QLA as well, and
Nice. Love
yeah,
that.
and we talked about it, and I realized like I know so much more than so many other people, right? Like I actually know stuff. And now, like from this Monday, it's just gonna like 90-day challenge to start like reaching out 10K all by myself, and then like bringing graphic designers, copywriters, and just building a team and scaling up.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that crazy on the team side of things.
Hmm.
Or like copywriters and graphic designers and whatnot.
Hmm.
Stay lean,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
can handle I mean, if you know it all, you're not saying like you know it all, but like if you know a lot yourself, you know enough to get clients great results. I would honestly
Hmm.
focus on the first 3 clients yourself. And
Hmm.
then from there, once you've really built like solid kind of SOPs and systems around how to onboard clients, how to get them results, because
Hmm.
obviously it's different from theory and practicality, right? In terms of
Hmm.
getting results. Like you may know how to get results, but actually getting results, it's kind of a different story. So you'd want to, iron out that proof of concept first.
Hmm.
And then you'd want to hire at that point, once you got a solid proof of concept in place. And you'd really, you would. It's the way in which you hire is exactly the same as Facebook ads. Like nothing changes. You'd still want a media buyer, but now they're not a media buyer. Now they're just an email marketer, right? Or just a team
Hmm.
member overall. So it's
Hmm.
exactly the same structure, and that's how you'll be able to scale and maintain, healthy profit margins.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. That just to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, I
So
love it.
I'm gonna start that from this Monday, and like I'll tell you every Friday how I'm doing because school's about to end as well. So now I can just double
Cool.
down on this.
Yeah, I like it, dude. Only thing I would say is don't start Monday. Start tomorrow.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I get you. One day or day one, isn't it?
Yeah, people always say that. Like my mum
And
is
the
like one of the
reason I
worst
said
for
that
it.
was because I don't know if you know who Chase Diamond is. Like, have you heard of him? Do you know who Nick
No,
Shackelford is?
Chase Diamond.
Do you know who
Oh
Nick
yeah, I know.
Shackelford is?
Yeah,
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 you
yeah.
see
I
how he has
know.
his agency, Structured Social. They're like
Mhm.
really good friends and they're business partners. So Chase, he's basically just email marketing for ecom, and his agency is called Boundless Labs, and they're like together now. So you know how Nick has Constant Creative, his
Mhm.
own like media buying agency, and now he's also like business partners with Chase. So he has a course which is really good. Like a lot of people have gotten really good results with it. So I bought that and I'm just going through that. And there was this guy on Twitter that I found out. He sent me his affiliate link and he's like, yo, bro, if you buy through my link, I'll be down to do our consulting call with you. So I got that tomorrow with him, right? He owns a ecom like email marketing agency for ecom. So yeah, after doing that, it's just starting out.
Cool. I like it, man.
That's all, man. I'll let you know how it goes and thank you for everything, bro.
Yeah, come back next week and let me know the progress, dude.
Sure. Have a good day. Bye.
All right, bye bye. Adam.
Hey man, how are you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, cool. Everything's fine. I just wanted to ask, I have a couple questions prepared, and first of them is, what are the three books for the copywriting, you know, from the
Mhm.
QLEA course? Like, I didn't find it like below the video.
Oh, the
I don't know
books.
why. Yeah, the books.
So the main ones, anything from David Ogilvy, Claude
Uh-huh.
Hopkins, and Eugene Schwartz. They're the they're the best books on copywriting that I've read. People always ask me like, what resources have you leveraged to,
Mhm.
I mean, I won't say I'm a great copywriter, but I can write copy that converts, which is like the most important thing. Whether it looks good or not, it converts. That's what's most important. And people ask me like how I got to that point, and really, thinking back, all I've really done is read those books. So like Ogilvy on advertising, scientific advertising, breakthrough advertising. Read those books, really understood kind of the ideas of it, and then just writing after that. Like I've not, like programs or whatever. Like the way that I've gotten to the point now where I can write copy that converts is just by writing copy, and seeing the
Just
data,
train.
getting,
Yeah.
yeah, just kind of being out in the field. So I would definitely read those books, but I would also, just kind of start writing, to be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, I bought the first book from Ogilvy, and I want to get down to it this weekend and read it. But that brings me back to the campaign I'm running for the pet store, basically, or pet store, pet accessories, or pet fashion. I'm gonna screen share very like quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for example. Yeah, I've structured the campaign finally so that it looks good, because this was the fail with the credit,
I
that
remember.
Facebook
Yeah.
is. Yeah. So I structured everything. I did 2 ad sets, 4 ads each, 2 ad copies, 2 ad creatives, and I budgeted it on $11.50 USD per ad set, and I don't know whether it's enough or not on here, right here. There,
You don't know what, sorry?
yeah, I don't know whether the $11.50 per ad set that has 4 ads in it, whether it's enough or not for audience testing at very least.
It's I mean, do you have more ad spend to use?
I have $1,000 per month, which is like $33 something per day.
Yeah.
So I wanted to spare like at least $10 for the remarketing funnel.
How much traffic have they had though? Like, is there anything to remarket really?
Not yet. Not yet.
I wouldn't worry about it then. I would put it all into top of funnel. So I would go
Okay.
I would split 33 up in half and put those on 2 ad sets top of funnel.
Yeah, sure. Because I was actually, I'm writing a question to the group, and Daniel replied to me that he would do just 2 ad sets, 2 ads each with $11.50, and then like around $10 to the bottom of funnel. But I don't really
That's what I would
know.
do as well, for sure. But if there's nothing to retarget, you just obviously want to go 100% top of funnel.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
Because the issue that I'm having right now with, I mean, this is running from since yesterday, so there's not much data. But the issue that I was having with the other ads that was having a way bigger budget, it was running for around 3 days. So it generated data, but it always broke on like, yeah, right over here on add to cart.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I don't know why, because this is the owner did the Facebook and Instagram shop budget herself, because she wanted to use it. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna use the budget purely on the ads for the shop. So she got some conversions right there. But this is where I break, like on this ad set where I spend like good amount, like like over $100 on like in a period of 3 days. I had just 2 added cards, but this is just running as I said, since yesterday, so there's not much data yet, but I mean, I'm worried that it's going to break here as well.
or was the client optimizing for add to carts on the other ad set or campaign?
Here?
Yeah.
I believe not. I'm gonna check. Let's see. I mean, she has just one ad, I believe. Yeah, one ad.
Mhm.
Oh, I click on.
Yeah, go to the ad set level.
Yeah. I'm sorry, the Zoom really slows down things over here.
Yeah, that's all right, man.
But I believe she did optimize for purchases because in her other ads. In her other ads, she did optimize for purchases. So
Yeah, I mean, either way, there's not enough data on your new ads. So obviously you wouldn't want to make any decisions just yet. What I would honestly do is, as I say, go 33 a day, split that up. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, she's optimizing for purchase. So yeah, I would split that up. And if you see the same thing happen, then I would definitely go to the website and go through the flow and see what the issue might be. Because that is a huge drop off for sure.
yeah, I mean, even here you can see that the content views, that there's like some amount of content views and just 2 added cards and then nothing.
Yeah, there'll be something in the flow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just wanted to, if I may, just quickly show you the ad copies. I mean, these are the images. This is image 1, and this is video of a dog jumping in the harness. You know, I'm gonna put this on the side.
I'm not a fan of that video.
Okay.
Because you don't know what it is. Like I know you know it's a dog, but like I mean you don't know what the like what is it? It's just a cute dog jumping up and down.
Yeah, sure. That's
You know
true.
what I mean? Like you have no idea what it is. So you need to make sure that the creatives that you use really highlight the product. So that, as I say, people know what it is without the sound. The idea is that they get sold without the sound on, just from the video, just from the image. It sells the products itself, but like that, it's not gonna sell anybody because it's just a dog jumping up and down.
So like something like the other picture would be better.
The image is not too bad, yeah.
Amazing. And what do you think about the ad copies? I mean, I did it based off of the ad copy supremacy.
Yeah.
I did a story one and benefit one. So just wanted to really know your opinion on what should I do better or.
The first line, again, it's like the video where it's like not like it's got nothing to do with the product. So, the first line is the most important line in the copy, right? Or really the first 3 lines, because that's what you get shown before the see more button, and also the creative. So in that ad in the ad in the middle, they've got a creative of a dog jumping up and down or doing whatever it's doing. So you just think it's a cute dog, right? And then the first line of the copy is imagine walking your pup on a beautiful day. So none of it ties into the product. And so it's not going to sell the product because there's nothing to sell. It's not going to hook them in any way.
Yeah, sure.
So one of the ways that I would go about it is, I would have a look at what the issue is. You can even speak to your client about this as well. And figure out what the issue is in the industry right now, or what most dog owner. I don't like dogs. I'm completely scared of them, if I'm honest. So I don't have them. I've never had one. So I don't know what the issue is, but you need to figure out what dog owners issues are with most harnesses. And this also ties back to the client. So this is where like finding that, you know, bringing on the right type of clients is super important as well, because if they have a product that doesn't solve an issue, that's, you know, it's just the same thing as every other brand's doing, then that's when it becomes hard. Because when you know, you're able to make a really high converting ads when you're able to highlight a problem, and this new product is a solution to that problem. So try figure out what makes this harness different, what problem it solves, or you know, why people even buy it. That's another way to figure out the reasoning behind it. You know, actually do a survey to customers, like get your client to do it. You can give the customers like a 20% discount or a coupon or whatever, for them to fill out a few, like a questionnaire. And on the questionnaire, you can ask, why did you buy? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Again, that can give you some insight into why people buy. And that's, you know, that's what you can make your copy around and your creatives based around, and then that'll hook them in.
Sure. I mean, I did research, I mean, before I started writing copies about the harness. And the main issues is that a lot of harnesses actually aren't as light, you know, they're like packing the dog with fabric basically. So it's like rubbing their armpits, you know, dog, like small dog like Frenchies and whatever, they can overheat pretty easily in a harness that just packs fabric on them, you know. Then so the benefits of this is lightweight, it's breathable, airfoam mesh, it supports agility and free movement, you know, it doesn't choke the dog by its neck. So so those are that's basically the problem solver with this harness. So
so what we would do, is we would then create ads around each of those angles. Specifically, like we wouldn't, you know, you've like put it all into one ad there. We would strip it out, and we would create ads on each one of the angles, because one of those angles will like hit home the most, right? One of those angles will be like the biggest, they're the big issues, but then out of those big issues, you want to really like extrapolate the biggest, like the most painful that dog owners feel. And then you can kind of go all in on that. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, amazing. And what type of ad copy would you choose? I mean, this is my attempt for story copy. This is the benefit copy. So what would you really like? How would you
I would
go
do
around?
like story. I would do like a story copy for sure, because I think it will be the best way to explain. And I think that length is pretty good as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So something similar, but just do better on the first few lines. And really
something similar, do better on something similar, and as I say, just kind of restructure it all around one problem. That's one piece of copy, then do another piece for a different problem.
Yeah, sure, I got it. Okay, so thank you so much for this. And also, I mean, I have a few more questions if there's still time. Basically the audience sizes, I wanted to ask about this because in the videos and of course you basically explained that the sweet spot is between 150K to 2.5 million. I wanted to ask whether it changed with iOS 14 or not, because I was reading the group again that even Daniel was saying that the audience sizes got smaller and that you should aim for higher numbers in audiences. Yeah,
most definitely. So that's one of the main, that, and just like, because I've become a much better agency owner since I create Quantum Leap. But you know, there are some of the main reasons why I'm doing a full revamp, and I'm basically bringing out an entirely new program at the back end of this year. But one of the big things that has changed in the service delivery week is the audience sizes. Yes. So we really now, we never did below a million. But honestly, most of the time now we're above 5 million audience sizes. Yeah, so it's gone much bigger. Okay, so because you know, I set up even with this new campaign, I've set it up with like 1.1 million is first ad set, and second ad set is like 600K. So that is definitely not enough now. Well, you'd still want to, I would still leave it 2 days. You said this launched yesterday, right?
Mhm.
So I would
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
it another day or so, just to see what data comes through, because it's still going to be useful. But I would then relaunch at 33 split. So 1650 a day or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then also, yeah, go a little bit broader on the audiences.
Yeah, sure, sure. And when it comes to the retargeting structure, you know, in the videos there was this basically the product view 7 days, product view 14 days exclude, yeah, I know. And basically with these, do I have to create like 12 separate ad sets?
No, for this client, I wouldn't do this. I mean, dude, for this
Uh-huh.
client, you just want to do a all pixel 180.
Yeah, so okay.
So just like
Pixel.
one ad set with everything inside.
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, you can't even run ads to it as of yet. So even when you can run ads, you won't be able to further split, you know. And again, this is even something else that we've done now as well. This is like another thing that we've gone broader on. So this is very obviously very, very selective, which worked tremendously well this time last year, which is pretty much when I built Quantum Leap. But now again, we've gone broader on the retargeting audiences as well.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So yeah, that's basically the retargeting audience size is what you're saying. Yeah. I have just 2 more questions about 2 more prospects that I'm having right now. First prospect reached out to me, or I reached out to him, and then we had our first call, where basically I share value with him. And then I wrote him an email like 7 days later because he didn't book another call that he told me basically he would like to jump on another call with with the person that's running the ads for him at the moment. And he didn't, so I wrote him yesterday and he wrote me back basically this stuff. And considering that I watched the client avatar video yesterday, I don't really know whether this is like a red flag or whatever, because he really just, what he's making right now is like 5K a month with like phone cases, blue light blockers, and whatever on his website. And I suggested to him like $500 flat fee with 10% of ROAS. And because as I've seen in one of your YouTube videos, that's what you suggested when somebody has a potential but doesn't have the budget, then go lower on the flat fee and just go on ROAS. So I suggested that, and he's basically saying me that he has like a lot of offerings from other people and that he's comparing now, whatever, and then he wants to jump on another call with his creative director and brand manager. And even during the call, what I spotted, like what is like red flaggish for me, like he used a phrase where he said to me like, yeah, when we will get you the opportunity to like work with us, whatever. So that was again like where he basically maybe thought that like he's giving me opportunity and like I need to work with him or whatever. So like I don't really know how to feel about this right now. If you can give me your opinion.
I know exactly what you mean. I can see where you're coming from. So you've already had a call with them? What was the
like
outcome of the first call?
He was really glad about the call. I gave him a lot of value. He appreciated it a lot. You know, like he said, he's really happy we had a call and that he's gonna book another call with his brands manager. He told me just with the brands manager who's responsible for ads, and he was like excited. You know, like it was a good call. We had the call scheduled for like 20 minutes and we spoke for an hour. So I would definitely said it was a good call, but as I'm saying, like there were like the one red flag with him giving me the opportunity and whatever, and then this email. So I don't really know what to think.
Yes, so I mean that really comes from like the expectation side of things as well. Like, you know, if a client gets on a call, and again, this is something that we do as well, right? Like if a client gets on a call and they have the expectation that, you know, like you say, they're giving us the opportunity. Well, what I would do in that instance is, you know, because you can't stop that. That's what they think, but it's your job to lay the expectations. It's your job to reinforce them and say, you know, hey, if we decide to bring you on board as a client, etc., etc., right? So maybe you didn't do that as well as you should have. Maybe that was the issue, whatever it may be. And obviously that's what happened. That's, you know, over time you have more sales calls, that just comes naturally.
Sure.
So I think, I mean, honestly, I think in your position, it's not going to hurt to hop on another sales call with them or another call with them. Make sure that you obviously focus on reinforcing the expectations, just see where it goes. But I wouldn't get too like hung on them closing as the client.
Oh sure. Yeah, I mean, just by him saying that he has like other offers or whatever. I'm not like, oh, I 100% need to get this one. Like, I'm not really counting on him, because just out of this email and the impression,
I'll just use it as another way to stack your experience and stack the ability to improve your sales skills.
Definitely. And then I'm in talks with another gentleman who's actually a scientist, and he does like a neurocortex sensor technology for like a headset that's developed to cure or help tremendously to people with autism and ADHD, and people with is like, I'm gonna show you the product. It's still in making, you know, like they're yet to make the clinical trials. They're gonna start in summer, sometime in summer, so in a couple months. And it's basically, this is the headset basically, and it like measures the brain activity waves. I don't really understand it fully because I haven't had a call with the dude yet, but we're in talks to have a call next week. So considering that it's not out yet, it didn't have the clinical test yet and whatever, he crowdfunded this stuff. And my question is, how could I help him with marketing right now? And what could I offer him right now? Because I messaged him on LinkedIn actually, and he replied to me. I was asking that whether I saw his product and his story and whatever, and that if it wouldn't help to have a marketing campaign on social media to spread awareness of his product, and you know, and start interest of people who are having these issues. And he said, that they would genuinely help, that he thinks they will help, and that he would be glad to hop on a call. But I don't really know what.
So I think the best way to, I mean, it's difficult because, like, so for example, we wouldn't bring them on board as a client, right? Just because it's like, we just like the black and white of the ad spend and the purchase conversion value, you know, so we can really just black and white. This is what we're worth to you. This is how much we're generating you extra per month, whatever, right? However, if you were to bring them on board and you did want to generate the awareness, what I would do is really focus at the ad level on educating, right? Like do more educational pieces of copy, educational creatives, and then the call to action or the goal of the ad. You can really do, what I would recommend that you do is you do it to an email list. And the email list sends the weekly emails, and those are further educating the customer or the potential customer on all the different aspects of it, all the different angles that it provides, all the different benefits it provides. And then obviously that would then build up an email list. And then when they launch, they'll have a list of 10,000 people or whatever it is who have also been through this indoctrination process for a period of time. They've really understood the product because they've been getting these weekly emails. And then at that point, they're much more likely to buy.
Yeah, sure. Because just like you said, like right now, there's now the opportunity to really generate them money because the product's not out yet and it's yet to go to clinical tests. And really what I wanted to like say to him when I'm be speaking to him is like set the expectations correctly, that right now, like of course he can't expect to be generating money when the product is not out yet, but I want to explain to him that we might at least like generate the awareness and build him the email list as you said, and to have like a very good pre-launch campaign you know.
Yeah.
So that will be it, and then after he will launch, we could, like, you know, scale it faster with lots of data already on the account, you know. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your explanation and for all the advice.
No worries,
That was everything that I wanted. So again, thank you so much and have a beautiful day.
Yeah, likewise, man. I'm glad it was
Thank
useful.
you so much. Bye bye. Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Awesome. Saurabh.
Hey Kai, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
So I'm very, very well. So I just kind of signed my first client yesterday. So
Nice, dude.
because
Explain the
she was
kind
very
of.
happy. Yeah, I'm telling you. So she was very happy with call, and she had very low budget on ad spend, and she was ready to pay on the call. But at the end of the moment, my Stripe was I don't know what happened, and she in the Stripe account was not cooperate with me, and then I tell her that I will send you an email after half an hour later or something like that, and she was ready to pay. And then I sent her invoice, and she haven't paid yet the invoice.
What was
So
the issue
it's
on the, did she try and pay and the payment failed?
no issue was that invoice are not able to generate. So it was the issue by Stripe.
Huh, okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Just follow up.
So is it a normal that she haven't paid yet, or I overthink things?
You're probably slightly overthinking it just because it is your first client, right? And you're like, oh my God, you know,
Yeah.
you're really thinking about it. But when I think about it, you know, we signed a client earlier this week, and we basically, it was a 2-call close, demo call, and then we had the sales call, and then there was some reason on the sales call that it wasn't paid on the sales call. Obviously, we always optimize like you were doing, which is perfect. Try get it paid on the sales call. Whatever reason, I can't remember the exact reason. It wasn't me who took the sales call, but for whatever reason, it didn't get didn't get collected on the sales call. So then after my CMO sent me a message, he was like, "Dude, you need to get an invoice sent to this client." I shot it over, and I think they paid it like 72 hours later, 48 to 72 hours later. But obviously, I just sent it and then I forgot about it, right? I didn't really think about it. And then it was like a few days later, I seen the 3.5K come through, which was the retainer that we billed them. So I don't think it's a big issue. Obviously right now you're thinking like every minute of every day, you're like on your phone, like checking constantly, you know, because it's the first time. So you're probably making it bigger than what it actually is, and it's completely fine. I completely understand why. I was exactly the same with my first client. I was like constantly checking. As soon as it came through, I was like super excited and whatnot. But yeah, point is just don't worry too much about it. Just keep doing whatever it is. This is the biggest thing that you can do right now. Continue doing whatever it is that you did to get that book call, right? Keep doing your outreach, keep doing that. Don't take your focus off of that, and continue to follow up.
Yeah. So
do it every like 3 to 5 days.
Yeah. So to follow up, I send her onboarding. I haven't made onboarding funnel. So I send her a onboarding scheduler link. So I will onboard her on a call. I tell her to onboard her on a call, and she read the email, but she haven't clicked on the link or she haven't booked the meeting. So is it also a normal thing or not?
Did you send that with the invoice?
No, I sent separately onboarding.
Like a day later or something?
No, after when I send invoice, I send invoice after half an hour later after the call, and then 2-3 hours later I send the onboarding mail.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That's fine. Yeah, just don't message her now for like 2 days, and then follow up.
Okay. Yeah. So that brand was a subscription box brand. You ever worked with a subscription box brand?
No.
So it was a small brand, and they have a 200 to 300 subscribers for their subscription box. And they never run cold ad for their subscription box. They drive their traffic from Pinterest and then retarget from Facebook. So she said that if I will run cold campaign for on Facebook and Instagram, so they have to turn off their traffic from Pinterest. So is it okay if I shift them from Pinterest to Facebook?
Why do they need to turn the cold traffic from Pinterest off?
I don't know. She do it for herself. So I think
Yeah, I would
she,
push for her to not do that, because I mean, you don't want to turn off what's working. But yeah, you can obviously do top of funnel through Facebook for sure.
yeah. So their box was like $33 per month box, and they have 200 subscribers right now. And her goal was in, I asked them where you want to look in 6 months time, and she
Yeah.
said that I want to go from 200 to 500. So that means 300 new subscribers, and their budget is $5,000 per month. So is it achievable or not? 300 new subscriber in 6 months with $1,000 budget per month?
I can't say, man. Dude, there's so many factors that come into that. Like, yeah, I can't say. If it's something that people want, then yeah, you can definitely get 300 subscribers in 6 months. That's not a big number whatsoever. But as I say, there's too many moving factors for that.
Yeah. So do you have any a strategy or any special thing different for different from e-commerce subscription box rather than any singular product?
Biggest thing for subscriptions is
sorry, can you please speak again? Your voice is,
don't try and have a crazy ROAS on the front end, because it's very hard to, right, with subscription boxes. So just focus on trying to break even on the front end, and then obviously because it's like recurring, then the recurring payments are pure profit, and that's where the ROAS comes into play.
so my main goal is to increase their subscribers.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kai. That's it from my side.
Cool, man. No worries. By the way, congratulations on new client or potential new client. Krishnab, up next.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Absolutely wonderful. By the way, I just checked. I completely forgot to text you back on Instagram regarding Centurion. So I'll get back to you after this call.
Oh, dude, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah. So it's first of all, it's been a very confusing week for me. In terms of, so I've had 3 calls in the last week or 2, like sales calls. And for some reason, I did not end up closing them, which has not happened with me. But the change in the factor was I changed to a new approach with like the slides and everything on the call. And I feel like I massively fucked up all the calls. And it's different reasons for different reasons for each call. I could have gotten one on like a performance retainer, and with the other I should have sold more with like my service, but I felt like trying something new, although they were a very good fit, but they have not responded back. One has said a complete no, and the other 2 are thinking about it and not responding back to me on emails. So my question was, with this, like, how do I figure out where I'm going wrong? And do you think this slideshow structure is good for the calls or not? Or should I just rely on the good old selling and showing
Honestly,
structure?
I would just I would just go back to what was working before. I mean, dude, you ran from 0 to 6K a month so quickly. And you were signing clients left, right, and center, right? So I would just go back to what was working before. I wouldn't change something that's not broken.
Okay, okay, makes sense. But like with that thing was like I'm unable to understand. Even if that was working, it had zero structure. Whereas now the sales call has a structure. Earlier it was just me, for example, showing the approach which I use with the Facebook ads, and just asking questions, not showing anything, no presentation. And it's amusing to me because I put in the structure and showing myself, leveraging the brands I've worked with till now, showing some case studies, but it's going the complete opposite way, and I did not expect this. Or
Yeah, well,
is
it
it
might
too early to
also be
judge?
you've only had a sample size of 3, so you
Yeah.
can't come to too many conclusions from that.
Okay,
You know, like
makes sense.
you've not really done that much. It's only 3 calls. You could have just had 3 duds in a row, right? You said 2 of them are still potential, so it's not like you've lost them completely. You know, so it's you don't want to jump to conclusions too quickly. You want to build up the sample size, as we always say.
Yeah, makes sense. But but it's like, so out of the 3, one was a very small brand who are doing pretty good offline, but they wanted to get it online, and they have insane creators, but zero, like very low social following, very low numbers, almost breaking even online. So it's a complete no from their end. But I feel like I should have changed the approach to just performance only, and I definitely would have closed them because that's what she was looking for. And with the second one, it
So,
was yeah.
exactly. That's not got anything to do with the structure,
Okay, makes sense.
like the sales call structure. You know, that's because you pitched them a retainer and you should have done performance only.
Yeah, I feel like that's on me and not on the presentation, and not even on the client. That's a fuck up I made.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Yeah, exactly. So, which is good that you were able to identify that. But what I'm saying is that you shouldn't then say, "Oh, this new sales process isn't working."
okay, so I should give it more
You know,
sample size according to you, right?
for sure. Because then what happens is that then that drops then down to 2 people that you're now making this decision off of, which is even smaller sample size, right? Because one of them was going to close. It's just that you pitched the wrong structure to them, and maybe they physically couldn't afford your retainer. So it doesn't matter what sales structure you use, they wouldn't have moved forward no matter what, you know? So, okay, that removes that one. Now you're left with 2 people, and it's only a sample size of 2. And it's like, if you close one of them, then that would be a 50% close rate. You know what I mean? So just,
Yeah.
I would do the next month with this new sales structure, and then you'll be able to really reevaluate
Okay,
or
so like,
evaluate what's working best.
okay, so keep working on the new structure right now with any new clients who come, and just optimize it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so out of the 3, one who rejected me with the good creatives, I have 2 other, and the first one is a really good brand, like doing about 50K per month. One wants to go to 80K per month in the next 12 months. They have got good numbers, very good, very, very good margins. But I pitched the price and he said, okay, and I'll have to think about it. I tried to get a follow-up call booked with him. And he said that he'll have to check his calendar. I cannot do it right now, which is a very standard objection. So I'm following up with him on email. And is there a good way to approach it? Because I'm sending an email every 2 days. I also sent him a resource which we use with our clients, just to add on to the email some value. So I know you usually now do not have cases like this, but when you have to follow up, and it seems like a very unicorn client to me, how should I go about
Yeah,
it?
I wouldn't do every 2 days. I would do like the first week, you could probably do twice in the week. And then I would go to weekly.
Okay, so I just sent him
And every 2 days,
okay,
push him away.
okay, makes sense. So I just sent him an email today, like about half an hour ago. So you think I should wait till like Wednesday next week?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, makes sense. And apart from this, another thing which yeah, so the last one was a brand who's doing $1 million. They're breaking even right now. That's the most number that goes on my scheduler. So it was like 1 mil plus, and I got overwhelmed, honestly. I got scared for a good moment. But with these guys, I know you do not work with corporate clients, but with these massive brands, they're almost mostly corporate, which I've seen in my case. I know it could be different, and it could vary, but I definitely knew I was not going to close them on that call. So what I did was decide to divide it into two structures, like the demo call and then the next call. They have an in-house team which is unable to get them above break even, so they're basically break even or losing money at the moment with the ads itself, and they wanted to understand my structure. I did give them like a bird's eye view, and told them I'll need access to the account, but they said they'll have to sign an NDA, and they'll send it over, and they cannot book in a follow-up call, which is very ridiculous and makes me pretty angry.
So is it $1 million a month?
Yeah, and spending $1 million on ads. So they spend 800K on ads. They're doing $1 million a month currently, and they're breaking even. So what happens is with this is the new brand, so it's in the security space. So they often end up losing money on like the first hand, but they make money off the subscription, which keeps on going with their customers.
Yeah, for sure. So what's the question here?
So like, how do you go about closing or approaching clients of such big scale? And like, should I reach out to them and get an NDA signed? Would it be okay on my end? And like,
Yeah.
how would you go about it?
Yeah, no, that'd be fine.
Okay, so
No, yeah. So that'll be fine. How do we go about closing them? Well, first of all, it's naturally a longer process. Like, you know, yeah, it's naturally a longer process. And like you said before, honestly, like they would be a really big pain, to be honest.
Yeah, makes
right
sense.
they just would. So you know, that's kind of what you've got to weigh up. And also, dude, $1 million a month in spend is a lot. That's like 30,000 a day.
Yeah, I have never managed such scale of budgets. I don't think my media buyer has even.
Yeah, neither we haven't either. We haven't had $1 million a month ad spend client yet.
Okay.
So that's big.
So okay, but like if it was you in your case, and I know for a fact, and since I've heard this from you and I've experienced this myself, I know they would be a very big pain in the ass. But like, would if it were you, would you like go with a consultation offer, or would you just not close them? What would you do if you were?
We would definitely do a downsell or a consulting offer. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, cool. My next question was, by the way, I think I heard you speaking to someone. Do you have an NDA for a media buyer in terms of communication? Is it possible if we could get access to something like that?
Yeah, I'll drop it to you.
Okay, thank you so much. And my next question was with just a second. So with the following up, so I have a lot of replies. Surprisingly, so I'm not signing any clients at the moment this past week or two, but I've got very good results on the campaigns, and I'm just following up with the people,
Nice.
even in terms of replies and everything. And I'm just waiting for that statement, like when it rains, it pours. So just waiting for that one client, so that it makes sense.
Dude, you're not signing a client in like 2 weeks. It's fine.
Okay.
Like we don't.
Okay.
We have some periods where we won't sign a client for like a week or two as well. Like it's it's just because you've been signing so many clients, you think it's normal to sign like 3 clients a week. You know what I mean? Like, and so when it's been like 2 weeks without signing a client, like you're like, what's going on? But it's fine. Like if it had been like a month or 2 months, then I'd be like, okay, let's get, you know, let's really get something changed, right? Because something's not working. But it's been like a week to 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. And also focusing on retention is just as important as client acquisition. This week, I was literally saying last night on the Centurion call.
Yeah.
This week we'll probably end up finishing off signing around 4 clients this week. so basically what we're going to do is for a period of time, or we're going to, you know, lower ad spend, we're going to lower, or we're going to increase the threshold that we have right now in terms of taking demo calls. So we'll cancel a lot more over the next month or so. So that we are able to focus on back end and service delivery, to really ensure that that's, you know, staying nice and high, and you know, we're not focusing on client acquisition and forgetting about service delivery. So it sounds like you're in that period right now, and you're focusing on client, you're focusing on service delivery, and it's working well. So you have these like periods. It's fine.
Okay, makes sense. Makes total sense. Yeah, that's something I actually want. I needed to hear from someone like you, who's not me, because I was actually starting to worry, like in terms of why is something not working, because I hopped on 3 calls and I was unable to close any of them, and it starts to put me in a worry, and
Yeah.
then it goes all of that goes downhill.
Dude, don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, so my question was in terms of following up. So with my current campaign, which I'm doing, just to give you like some of the statistics, I've sent 516 emails till now with a 57.95 open rate. So what happened here with the open rate was earlier it dropped. I think I said it to you on the like 2 weeks ago on the call, on this weekly call, that it had dropped, but I changed the subject line, so it's coming up now. So that is why it's at 57.95 and not 50. And I had a 12.21% click-through rate on the website. So my question was, do you recommend me to add email sequences now, or should I just still stick to what I'm doing right now and do not add any email sequences?
What do you mean by email sequences?
So like for example, giving away like a pop-up which you have on your website, something like that.
Most definitely, yeah. You can get it implemented, yeah, straight away.
Okay, because 2 weeks ago, I checked with you with the same analytics 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you said that I was not at the point where I should focus on putting in emails, but since then the click-through rate has gone up with the campaigns from a 9 to a 12, 9 or 10 to a
12%.
Yeah, so I've got 63 clicks out of 516 emails sent, and let's assume like 299 of them were opened, like 300 emails opened, and I've got 63 clicks.
Yeah, that's cool. You can start it for sure. I mean, it's gonna compound over time, and that's what you got to focus on. You like, obviously, as more people go to the website and whatnot, as I say, it's gonna compound over time. So that's where the results are gonna come from. It's not necessarily gonna be from like, you know, the people who've already clicked or whatever. But yeah, you can get something like that set up. There's just no point doing it if nobody's going to the website, which I think was kind of the issue last time, right? Like no one was really going there, but now you're getting a little bit of traffic. So it doesn't make sense to run retargeting ads, but you can definitely have a pop-up, get them to opt in, and then start building the email list as well.
Okay, and with the pop-up itself, like you do a 250K MRR like flow, and it does not make sense to copy something like that. But what would you recommend? Like, so I have a pop-up going on right now where people can submit for like a blueprint, a custom video made for their website. So would you recommend like something like your 250K MRR flow, and I optimize it for my own and make something and add my own points, or should I stick to like a marketing blueprint?
Yeah, definitely do your own for sure.
Okay, and in that, like, would you recommend like a flow or a structure, just a video you can send, just one video you can send to everyone, or the marketing blueprint which I'm using right now?
No, I do evergreen.
Okay, makes sense. And out of this, I have got like 36 replies and 22 interested leads out of this one campaign. Now this 22 includes people like who I need to follow up with later, people who have booked in, etc., etc. So with these guys, what I'm facing is, in terms of following up, I do not have a good structure, like something connected to Lemlist itself. And I feel like doing it manually every day is a pain, but if I'm wrong, just let me know. And what's the structure you would recommend for like a good following up system? Because I have nothing connected to Lemlist, and I just check off Lemlist, go through my go to my email, and just follow up. Yeah, I do have Lemlist. I can see everything there, but I
Yeah,
have to
get it set up
manually
in
go and
Lemlist
follow up.
though. Get it set up in Lemlist.
How do you do that?
I'll just add extra steps in the campaign.
Okay, makes sense. But these guys are like interested leads. Somebody who has responded back. So it has to be a custom message. My only issue is it's hard to keep a track of who's replying, who's not. And if I forget to reply to someone, for example.
What are you sending? Is it a Loom?
No, it's a direct like a book called CTA currently.
Oh,
But
dude, if
people
you're
are responding.
no, dude. If you're not sending a Loom, just set it up as an evergreen structure in Lemlist.
Okay, so like what's the structure you would recommend? Like an evergreen loom, what does it cover, and like
No,
who am I
evergreen
targeting?
follow-up sequence. If you're not sending a Loom, just do an evergreen following up sequence. Like what you're doing now, just make it evergreen.
Okay, so just add it to my I'm sorry if I can sound confused, but like should I add it to my main campaign which I'm running, or like create a new campaign and transfer those leads every day
No,
to
the
it,
main
or
campaign.
does it happen automatically?
Main campaign.
Okay,
You don't
makes
do
sense.
anything manual.
Okay, cool. But out of these, like there are people who have responded back like with questions and everything, and so I feel like it does not make sense to send them like a generic email to the people who have responded back with like detailed questions, or just shown some level of
the people who
interest.
respond back, you answer personally.
Okay, and where do you keep a track of the people who have responded back to you personally? You, for example, is it something like Pipedrive? Do you add it manually? Is there somewhere? My question is like, is there somewhere where I can these leads who are interested or who reply back can automatically go, so I can keep a check on them, and when do I need to follow up with them?
Yeah, that's what we use Close for. But you at the scale that you're at, you can just do it in the inbox. Don't worry about doing anything fancy.
Okay, makes sense.
And
So
if you
I'll have
don't
to do it
join, you'll
manually,
get the
right?
close system anyway, so you're fine.
Okay, cool, sounds good.
Cool.
And another thing was, so with just a second. Yeah, so right now, while I'm not closing any clients, do you recommend I have everything set up like with the videos. Last time we had a chat with the media buyer and like a proper system to get media buyers in. So I have a proper page ready for the media buyers to land on applicants with like a Google form integrated, and everything looks very professional. But do you recommend should I begin posting on the different platforms now, or should I just focus on getting another client and then looking into this?
Posting on different platforms for client acquisition.
For media buyer acquisition applicants.
Oh yeah, you can definitely yeah, for sure.
Like right now,
I just don't want you doing
recommend...
anything extra that's going to take your focus off of the main thing. That's all.
Yeah, so what would you recommend? Should I just wait on, get another client signed, and then look into this? Where do I stop with the client acquisition before I get a new media buyer on board, or get a secondary media buyer on board?
As soon as the first one's capped.
Okay, so I should just let the page be and wait till I get the new clients on board.
Is that when they're going to be capped? As soon as they have one more client?
No, it's not really going to be capped. It's just that I'm looking for someone who's a better backup, because with this guy, he's good at running ads, but I need someone who can handle communication and who will be like a very prospective, like the ideal media buyer, like who'd be good at communication, who'll get on sales calls often with me. And this is not the guy.
You can look for them now. You can look for them now, because that's not going to change when you get one more client. That's fine. Okay.
Makes sense. And I have just 2 or 3 more questions. Is it okay?
Yeah, quickly. Yeah.
Okay. So the first one was, do you know about the Instagram Reels ads? I'm seeing them a lot now. Do you know how to make the Instagram Reel ads?
I believe it's just another placement.
I couldn't see it in the ads manager, in the ad section, like specifically Reels.
Okay, well, I've not looked in it, but my CMO sent me a message the other day, and he said that it's a new placement, so maybe it's only rolled out to a certain amount of accounts, or certain accounts at the moment.
Okay, makes sense. I'll check again and see if I have it.
Yeah, we've actually said to a
and
few clients to get like TikTok style ads or creatives because we want to test them out.
okay,
So
makes sense.
could be interesting.
Okay. And how do I get like multiple touch points with the people who have replied and in like the interested leads who I have manually marked interested and the people who have replied back? And like, would you suggest organic marketing? So what's the best platform to connect with these interested leads? I feel like I should have multiple touch points. So even if they do not close right now, I can in sometime in future close them and have my audience built up now. So what's the best platform you'd recommend? And like, what should I look into with the organic marketing and connecting with these leads?
But you remember targeting ads. Once you obviously get to like a certain number of, well, you know, like 500 people clicking on your ads, clicking on onto your website, you can run retargeting ads. So that's like the best way to get those touch points in. Also, if you start, you know, doing some of that email marketing stuff, get your touch points in that way. And then in terms of what platforms to connect with them on, depends where you feel as though you're strongest, right? Like a good place for me to connect with these owners is, you know, Facebook, for example, because I know not so much now, but when I was using Facebook for agency clients, like it was pretty strong. So I knew that then I would be posting a lot on there. But if I didn't really post on Instagram for my agency stuff, so I wouldn't connect with them on Instagram. So it depends, but I would probably say Facebook or LinkedIn would be the strongest.
Okay, makes sense. And with the Shopify funnel, which I talked to you like last week, I'm not sure if you remember, but I'm getting it built for a client, and I showed you like the two websites we're looking to copy or get inputs from. How would you recommend I should go about with the pricing of the funnel? Should I take a percentage? Should it be a flat one-time fee? We have got them scaled up from like 15K to 18K now. And I was thinking to charge anywhere like around 3 to 3.5K. Is it too much? It's going to be a full build.
You took them from 15 to 18?
Yeah, 15 to 18K per month. We're sitting around 18K right now while they're working with me. And she trusts me more rather than working with another Shopify guy. So she told me to like, let me know like what would be the prices of the funnel. I've got it figured out with my guy who will do the funnel on the back end. So I was looking to charge like anywhere between 3 to 3.5K. Would you think it's too much for their level, or like what's the structure you would recommend?
No, that's fine.
So 3 or 3.5K. Does it even matter?
Yeah, that I think that's an all right price. If it's actually going to increase, because it's very easy to sell a website build. You can just sell, on the increased conversion and whatnot. It's very easy to sell.
So what do you think 3.5K would be a good price?
Yeah.
Okay. And just last two quick questions. Number one was, do you recommend like at my level? So with you have your media buyer taking the first demo call. But at my case, do you recommend 2 call closes or 1 call? I always used to do 1 call, but like I know you say like do what is working well for you in the past. But in general, like would you recommend 2 call closes or 1 call closes? Keeping in mind, I'm the only one being the main team member.
I would honestly it depends on your thoughts on the call. That's what I've always done. The only reason we do 2 call closes now is because we're running ads. So anyone and everyone can be booking in a call with us. But when you're doing email outreach, it's only the specific people that you're reaching out to. So you know that they're a good fit because that's why you reached out to them. So I would do, it depends on what the like how it is, how you feel on the call, how the brand is as well, right? If you're a bit unsure, you don't really know specific numbers and whatnot, then do a 2 call. If you're, oh my God, this is ridiculous, this is so obvious, like let's do it. 2K a month, 4K a month, 5K a month plus 10% is like the perfect pricing structure for this brand. Then go for the 1 call.
Okay, and with the 2 call closes, the first call will end up with the CTA of me having the view access to their ad account mostly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And my last question is, so I have a client, we're doing pretty good for all the other clients. They're understanding that the attribution is off. We're looking into stuff. We're implementing UTMs now. But with one of the clients, we did on the Shopify end, it looks like increased revenue. But I'm probably going to end up losing them this month, like in 2 days, because they want to see if they were profitable, and it's hard to judge from the ads itself. Although so they wanted like a 2x minimum return ad spend, but we were at around like a 1.8x, and a lot of the attribution is off with the ad accounts itself, and it's getting very hard to explain them. Even their creative, I asked them for new creatives, they have not gone to it yet. They have not started to push it out yet. So like, how do you go about explaining? Should I hop on a call with them? What should I do?
Yeah, get on a call with them for sure.
Okay, so just send a message like,
That's how I
hey,
do it.
can we hop on a quick call so I can explain you everything? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much, Kai. I'll keep you updated, and let
Cool.
you know if I sign a new client, probably.
Awesome, man. Cool.
Thank you.
Mohammed.
Hey Kai, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Just had a few questions. Have your campaigns taken a hit for retargeting?
Yeah.
So are you focusing just mostly on cold now, or are you still putting in bottom of funnel into the mix?
No, we're focusing on cold, definitely, and we're focusing on on traffic, on platform retargeting.
Okay, so just like for like IG engagers, video views, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so for retargeting, let's say like add to cart and stuff like that, are you only doing it if it's a minimum size? Like if it's at least like 5,000 or 10,000 add to carts or something? Like how
Yeah,
are you
well,
doing
that's
it?
pretty much all it will run. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Makes sense. And then I remember last week you were mentioning that for the purchase event, there are 4 different objectives that you prioritize for different events that you prioritize. So when you're prioritizing your 8-pixel events, you mentioned that.
Oh yeah, so it's like purchases, purchase conversion, purchase ROAS, and I believe there's a 4th. That's what my this is what we prioritize.
Okay. Have you seen a difference, or are you just doing it for all your clients?
No, we're doing it for clients. Yeah.
Okay, so it's those 4, and then you've got your initiate, checkout, add to cart, view content, or
Yeah.
what's the order you guys use?
Yeah, exactly. We just go down the funnel.
Okay. Do you prioritize for ad payment info? Because for some of our clients, we're noticing that it's way off. Like it's.
Yeah, we don't. We our payment info it's not everybody adds payment info. So yeah, we I don't think we're optimizing for that. It's just initiate, checkout, add to cart.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Gotcha. And then I remember last week you mentioned you were going to speak to Red for tracking. Curious how that went.
Yeah, so we are starting with them. Their onboarding is horrific, but I'm hoping the product is slightly better. They use Skype for communication. It's not the best, to be honest, but yeah, I'm hoping that I think that product's going to be pretty solid. I mean, that's from what I was at, like the questions I was asking, like it's right in line with what we need. So yeah, we'll be starting with those. We've got an onboarding call with my team and their team on Monday.
Gotcha. So are you using that in addition to, I think you're using Oribi and other stuff as well? Or are you just
yeah, we've got a couple softwares, but those others are more just like analytics, and this is more specifically tracking.
Gotcha. Okay. And so for when you're calculating your ROAS deals, are you looking at all the different softwares and picking the lowest, or do you pick the average? Like how do you charge your ROAS?
So we've been going off of Facebook for the last few months, but this month it will be through RedTrack.
Okay. And so just using
obviously we'll cross check with other platforms, but we've been seeing that it's it's not like one's 100,000 and the other one says 30, or something ridiculous.
Okay, so
One might
for
say
your
92, the other might say 103, the other might say 97, so it's all right around there.
okay, so it's not a huge difference. So it's still worth using Facebook to try to grow ads.
Yeah, for our accounts, yeah. I've heard of some stories. I can't remember who it was just on this call earlier. Was saying that I believe it was Ibby right at the start. He was saying that there's 0.2 ROAS, but like there was 18,000 still brought in. As I was saying to him, there's another customer inside of Centaurian who had the same thing. It was like Facebook was way off. So in that instance, no, but for the most part, up until now, like you said, have you seen a dip in retargeting? Yes, but only over the last few weeks, like the last 2 weeks max, right? So this is now why we're looking at some other options.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And then for Google Analytics, is it just mostly just looking at the purchase conversion, or do you also look at the other metrics like your bounce rate and other stuff?
I'll say that again.
So when you're looking into Google Analytics, like, when you set up your UTM parameters, are you verifying the purchases coming through the campaign, or are you also looking at other metrics?
No, it's mainly just purchases for just for the conversion value.
Gotcha.
I mean,
okay.
other metrics aren't that important. So the other thing as well on Facebook, it's important to remember that the other metrics are, so it's obviously whatever's going to be the highest prioritized in Facebook is what's going to get shown. So your metrics, your higher funnel metrics on Facebook are actually quite skewed more than you think. Because if somebody purchases, then their initiate checkout and whatnot is not going to be there, because what's most prioritized is what's going to get reported, and that's going to be purchase or whatever.
That makes dude, that makes so much sense, because for one of our campaigns, our like initiate checkout was like 50 and our like add to cart was like 25, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we were seeing some crazy numbers. Like, how can you have so many checkouts, and like, where did they come from if they didn't add to cart? So we were like, okay, that's pretty interesting. But that helps a lot.
It's because the highest one gets obviously prioritized, and that's what gets reported. So the higher funnel metrics are kind of a little bit skewed, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care how many content views we get or whatever it is. So we kind of just primarily focus on purchases.
Gotcha.
The value.
Have you ever split tested 1 day view, 1 day click and view versus 7 day click?
No.
So do you just mostly do 7 day?
Yeah.
Is there any case where you'd want to do 1 day instead? I've heard it works for lower ticket items, but I haven't tested it.
Yeah, that would definitely obviously make sense. Lower ticket would obviously do better on the shorter view, because the buying cycle is much smaller. But no, we've just kind of gone with the standard 7 day click, 1 day view.
Does it do anything with the algorithm if you're changing the attribution windows? Like, does it make Facebook test more aggressively, or is it?
I don't know. I would assume it would, but I couldn't say specifically on that.
Because something I was thinking about is if let's say you set it for 1 day click and view, are you able to make decisions faster since it's on a smaller cycle? So you could switch off ad sets on a maybe 48-hour, 72-hour basis instead of waiting a few more days.
It still depends on how much has been spent in comparison to the AOV. To be honest.
So you're using AOV as kind of the benchmark of when to switch an ad on or off, regardless of how many days it's been.
Well, it's more it's AOV, and then the AOV will depict ideal CPA, and then the amount spent is what we look at. It's not really about how many days it's been running. It's more how much has been spent.
Okay,
what's
so
the ideal CPA and what's the if you look at ideal CPA, that's the only metric you need to take into account. But if you look at AOV and how much has been spent, then you need to take both of them into account.
Gotcha. So for you, as long as you've spent under your ideal CPA, you'll continue to run the ad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is ideal CPA for the ad set or for the specific ad?
No, for the ad set.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
we'll
'cause
go
for-
into that. If it's sky high, you know, if the ideal CPA is $50, but the ad set's running at $120, then we'll go into the ad set and see what's going on.
Gotcha. Okay, because for one of the campaigns we've launched, it's been like 48 hours or something, and we haven't seen any purchases or anything. And so, when would we just relaunch the campaign? Because another question I had was, if you're not getting the events, does that throw Facebook off as to how, like, Facebook doesn't know how to find those people if it's not getting feedback frequently?
Yeah,
or?
it's not able to optimize. Yeah, that is an issue. And that's why in this tracking softwares that we've been looking in, we've been trying to make sure that they have the ability to send the data back to Facebook so that they can further optimize.
Gotcha. Okay. So if you're not getting, like, let's say you're optimizing for purchases, but you're not getting any purchases, would it be better to optimize for a higher funnel, like add to cart or initiate
No,
checkout?
no, no.
Just no?
Never is.
Okay. So,
Never is.
so continue to optimize for purchases, but
Yeah.
then what do you do if you're not getting purchases in, you know, so when would you decide that, okay, if we're not getting purchases, let's switch this off? Would you wait 24 hours, 48, 3 days?
Well, it depends on the, again, it goes back to AOV, right? Like it depends on AOV and like ideal CPA. So if you spent $100, but your AOV is 20, I would switch it off, no matter the days.
Mm-hmm.
But if your AOVs, if you've spent 100, again, the same situation, but your AOV is 300, then you would keep it on because you're able to spend more, get a few purchases in and still be profitable.
Gotcha. But I mean, like, okay, let's say, for example, the AOV is $100. And for simplicity, let's say you're spending $10 a day. So would you be okay waiting 10 days, not seeing any purchases? Like, would that really throw Facebook off? Or would you need some, feedback and like at least like a
Yeah, I
couple of
wouldn't
purchases?
do that. I wouldn't do that. No, you'd want to go way more on the ad spend.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that. But I mean, like, okay, let's say, but like, what's the most you're willing to wait before you get a purchase? Like, let's say again, like the AOV is 100, but you're spending $20 a day, for example. Would you be okay waiting 5
Yeah,
days before getting a purchase?
I feel like you're focusing on the wrong thing. We don't think about the days at all. It's about how much has been spent in comparison to the AOV. That's it. We'd never really take into account how many days it's been running.
Interesting. Okay. Because I've heard that like if Facebook doesn't get data within 48, 72 hours, it throws off the optimization and it just, you might as well just relaunch the campaign. So I was asking
Yeah, I can
just
see that for sure. I can see that for sure. But we usually, and that's the idea. And it kind of ties in together, but it's just, I suppose it's a different perspective on it. But, if you have an AOV of $100 and you do a $10 ad budget or ad set budget, like we wouldn't do that because it's going to take 10 days to spend AOV. So what we would do in that instance is we would probably go $30, right? Or $35 or maybe even $40 per ad set, or even $50. Some of our biggest spending clients, we just, test with $50. Their AOV is 100. Over 2 days, we would have spent 100. Over 3 days, we would have spent 150. And if we've not got a purchase, well, it's not about, it's first 3 days, we've not got any data, so let's turn it off. But it's more about, it's the first 3 days, you spent $150, we've not got a purchase, let's turn it off. That's kind of the perspective that we look at it from.
Okay, so you look at it from a cost purchase perspective, regardless of the number of days.
Yeah, we don't look at the days, yeah.
So in this case, like let's say AOV is 50 and you're spending 100 per day, would you make your decision within 24 hours if you got no purchases?
Yeah, we'd make a decision not within 24 hours, it would be within the 24 to 48 hour window.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That brings a lot of clarity. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then another question. So when it comes to bounce rate, is the only way to fix that is the website loading speed, or is it other factors that contribute to bounce rate?
So bounce rate.
Yeah, like if you're getting a huge drop off from link clicks to landing page views,
Mm.
is it just loading speed or are there other stuff?
No, it's pretty much loading speed. That would be like 95%.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, makes sense. And then if there's a drop off from add to cart to checkout, is it just it's a user experience issue on their end that, like, let's
Yeah.
say you
UX
Okay.
could be shit like on accounted for costs, like shipping could be $30. That could cause a drop off as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Makes sense. Yeah, that's all my questions. Perfect.
Cool,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
No worries, man. Kareem.
Hey, what's up, Kai?
Not much, dude. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Got some good news and some not so good news. So good news is I signed a client last night, my second
Nice.
client now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an info product client, and they have like you know, the Motley Fool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what they do is kind of similar to that, but not as like, I guess it's like for a more sophisticated type of buyer. But anyways, got a couple questions. So with my other client, they're like pages got unrestricted, and I don't know what to do now because like to get it back, because I sent an appeal. Well, first I called Facebook because like I don't know how I managed to do this, but there was like like I just typed in like Facebook advertiser support, and after that, there was like a thing to like have a Facebook marketing expert called you. So I filled that out. She called me and I told her what was going on. Then she like put in a review for me. And she told me that the review should have gotten approved because she said it seemed like it was a mistake. But then the appeal got rejected, as you can see. So like yeah, like this is them telling me like it's we can't, like, this is their final decision. This is my rebuttal to them. And then I sent a follow-up on Wednesday and I still haven't heard back from them.
Yeah.
So do you think is it like over, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah. They literally said it is, didn't they? If you scroll up to the message that they sent.
This one?
Yeah, that you won't be able to get it back.
Like 100%?
Yeah, the page will no longer be allowed to advertise and its ads will remain disabled.
Oh, so like it's over?
You'll have to create a new business manager.
No, it's the
or a new
page.
ad account.
Oh no, it's the page that's restricted, not the.
Oh, so you have to create a new page.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
We were also thinking about going over to TikTok. What are your thoughts on that?
Depends on the audience.
Yeah, well, yeah. So they their audience is kind of like a Gen Z / millennial audience.
Yeah, worth a try then, for sure.
Okay. So how does that work with like creatives? Like, do you like what do you kind of do for that? Like, because I know it's a very different ball game than Facebook.
Yeah, the best shit to do in that instance would be to do like, because obviously I know that, you know how TikTok have like trends and shit.
I just made an account on it, so
yeah, that would be the best. I would recommend. I should say.
Just go on the TikTok app like myself and just see like what kind of content is like really viral in their niche.
what the trend, not even in the, like you could even do, like just take like a general trend and apply it to the product.
Like those like dance type challenges or whatever.
Anything, dude, like anything that's like gonna, like, as I say, that's like a trend, it's like going viral, and apply it to the product however way you know you can, because that'll really fit into the platform, and that's, you know, it's like an ad that's not an ad.
Okay. So you're I just want to make sure I like get what you're saying. You're talking about, like, for example, like when there's like with that one where like I think it's mostly girls that do it, but like they'll like do a dance, but like before they do it, like they'll like do like that to the beat of the camera. I mean, to the beat of the music. Is that like, is that kind of stuff you're talking about?
Yeah, like just like the trends, like I don't know, like dude, just go on there. I'm sure you'll see like a bunch of different shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
There's always like, dude, the best one that I can think of, this is super outdated. It goes to show how much time I spend on those platforms. But I remember years ago, or a few years ago, there was like the mannequin challenge or whatever. Remember that, when like people like they would like fucking stand still. And you know, they would go like underwater and shit. There's some actual pretty crazy ones, to be honest. But anyway, like a trend like that, right? I don't know how you would tie it into the product, but that's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay. Got it. And for that, do you like write scripts, or how does it work? Or do you just like find some influencers or like creators for them to work with, and like just let the creators like do their thing?
You can even get the client to do it themselves.
Okay. Yeah, she does like a lot of the TikToks on their page.
Yeah, that's perfect then.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Got it. And do you like write a script for it, or no?
I've never done one, but no, I wouldn't say you would need one. You don't need to do like a dance rehearsal or whatever.
Okay, got it. Also have another question. So with my looms that I've been sending out this week, I finally started my cold email outreach. Well, cold loom outreach technically, but anyways, like for some of them, my see if I can find some that are having this issue. Like they're not my, like the thumbnail is not appearing. Like this one, like the thumbnail, like I copy and paste the video, but it's not appearing.
Is it through Lemmost?
No, I sent this natively.
I'm not too sure on that one. Every time I paste a loom in Gmail, it pops up.
Okay.
I just copy the link, like hit the button.
Yeah.
On Loom where it says like copy link video or video link. I just copy that, paste it, and it just shows.
Okay. Yeah, I probably have like a bug in my account. I'll just hit up Loom Support, see what they say.
Yeah.
Also, my other thing is like I've sent about like I haven't sent as many looms as I wanted to this week because I'm having this issue with Loom where obviously like some of the videos don't have a thumbnail, but out of all the looms I've sent, like maybe like 20, not a single one of them has gotten watched.
Are your emails getting opened?
So I use Apollo to track my emails, and I checked it yesterday. So these are the ones I've tracked so far. These two templates are the exact same. The only thing is like a different subject line. Everything else is the same. So 7 total emails and 4 total opens.
4 opens.
Yeah. So this one I sent 2 with a 50, and I got so 1 got opened, 50% open rate. This one I delivered 5, and I have 3 open, so a 60% open rate.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah, I know it's a very small sample size, but it's like really strange that I've sent like 20.
It's super small, dude. Because like you got to think, if you got one reply, that'll be a 25% reply rate.
No. It's not even the reply rate. It's just that like none of the looms have gotten watched.
Oh, okay. But it's
Yeah.
still, it's still a 25% click through rate then.
Mhm.
It's still very, very small.
Okay, got it.
I would send 10 or get 10 opens. And then you can, and then you can have a look at, okay, the email or the subject line of the Loom video, but also the thumbnail will play a part as well.
Okay, right now my thumbnail is like the homepage of the website.
Yeah, but they're not showing.
Yeah. Well,
So
for the ones that aren't showing,
that's
I
what I
haven't
mean.
sent them.
Hmm?
Oh, for the ones that haven't, the ones that don't show, I'm not sending them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So for the ones that are, for the most part, like this one I sent on Monday, and on Monday, like it was like the first time this happened, so I was like, what's going on? And that's why I didn't. Oh, that's why I did send it. But like from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like I only sent the ones that showed the thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the email or the subject line of the Loom video, but you need to get a bigger sample size.
Okay, got it. Also I had 2 more questions. One, so I want to show you my my other client, the info product one, their website. So like I said, it's kind of like the Motley Fool. So they send a report out, like a weekly report out, or no, a monthly report out to their list, telling them like, these are some stocks you might want to check out. And it's for $99 a year. Kind of want to get your opinion on the website.
Yeah, I wouldn't send them to the website, like the homepage,
Okay. Where would you send them then?
like a funnel.
Okay. And what would that look like? Like an opt-in page, and then like the opt-in page to
You don't even need to send them to a you can send them to like something like a quiz funnel.
a quiz funnel. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, how many subscribers have they currently got?
Let me.
Just roughly, is it like 1,000, 10,000?
I think they've got like 300.
Okay. So how have they got all of those?
Mostly organic.
Yeah, but through the website.
That's a question I'll have to ask them about.
Okay. I would figure out that, and then I would start sending cold traffic to that place, and then see how it goes. I would say you would need a funnel, as I say. Usually home pages don't really work that well.
Okay.
But yeah, and also what I would really focus on is treat it as like an info product.
Yeah.
And I know you are, but like in terms of like, customer success, and return. Because
what do you mean
even
by
though there's not a direct ROI, there still is, right? Like if your customer was able to sign up, they get sent, a stock this month or whatever, and they put money into that stock and the stock increased, 100%, 50%, whatever, and they made $5,000 on that. Well, they've 50x their invest, or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I would structure. I think that could do pretty well. Instead of saying like, we give you reports, it's like I don't want report. Nobody wants reports, right? I can see that. Can I see your previous reports? It's like, well, or whatever, right? Nobody wants reports. They want return more so than reports. So that's what I would sell. I wouldn't focus on like the features of it. It would just be more like the outcomes. And the way that you get the outcomes is by virtue of the monthly reports or whatever.
Okay. And that's for the ad level or like the funnel level?
Everything.
Okay, so you have like an ad and it'll say something like how Max 50x'd his investment with this simple newsletter. like as a headline or something?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, got it. Then you just kind of use that theme throughout the entire sales process, basically, right?
Yeah, just focus on the outcome. Yeah.
Okay, got it, got it. Also had uh one more question. Well, actually, let me ask one more question related to this. So, so their budget to start is 1,500, but they're like more than happy to ramp it up once they see some ROAS. Um, what kind of campaign structure breakdown would you do?
You say $50
1,500 a month.
a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like 2 campaigns top of funnel.
Okay, so maybe like a broad one and then like an interest.
Yeah, like Motley Fools.
What do you mean? Oh, like Motley Fool as an interest.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, got it. Cool, I'll do that. So my last question is like, what is the best ad tracking software? Cause this is like kind of unrelated to my agency, but the fitness coach I work with, like as his sales guy, he's like having issue tracking his ads, and he said like once he figures out how to like track his ads better, he's gonna like crank up his ad spend by like 20%, and all those calls are gonna go to me.
Well, Hyros.
Hyros.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did tell him about Hyros, but he said that his like some people tried it, like some of his friends tried it before, and it like didn't really do anything for him, so they just got a refund.
Yeah, I'm the same. So I had we had a client, and it was kind of the same situation. Like, it was very similar to what Facebook said. But I think, like in those situations, I just think that Facebook tracked correctly. I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Like where the issue was, but yeah, I think it was just the fact that Facebook tracked correctly. But yeah, I mean, the only reason I say Hyros is because that's the only one I've tried. I'm trying, like I mentioned before, we're doing Red Track moving forward. So obviously I'll keep you updated on that performance. Yeah, I know Hyros works, you know.
Okay, got it. I think that's only other question I had. So as
Cool.
always, appreciate your help, Kai.
No worries, man. Johnny.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear music? Just gonna stop that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey there, Kai. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Not bad, thanks. Yeah, not bad. Just having a little wobbly moment with service delivery at the minute. So we're off to a good start with this new skincare client that we signed. They were quite skeptical, but off the bat, we started out with a 3x ROAS. So we decided to scale it a little bit. And then over the past 5 days, it just started to drop. And my media buyer was telling me that we should let it continue, because that those two audiences, the broad and the skincare audience, was bringing us the most purchases. But I was taking a look at the ROAS, and we'd spent about like just over like $2,000, and like the ROAS had just dropped to like 1.5. And our target ROAS with this client, they rely a lot on their subscription, so they're actually quite happy just to stay. It's not like other brands where if their break even is 2x, they want to be at 3. They're happy to be at 2x. But yeah, I just don't know if I made the right call, because my media buyer is adamant, saying like it's just like we had Father's Day last weekend. Maybe we should just give it more time. So I don't know if I was just being too hasty, but we gave it 5 days, and I was just, in light of your previous conversation with somebody else on this call, I did take a look, and from Thursday to Friday, it had these 2 campaigns. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong campaign. Had spent yeah, one had spent 2,000, the other one had spent 400, so about 2.5k, and the ROAS was, the cost per purchase had doubled, and the ROAS was sitting at around 1.3, 1.4 ish. Like, is that a reasonable call, or just
how long were you at the 3 ROAS for?
Like 2 weeks, I think.
Okay. So yeah, I would say it was I wouldn't say it was the wrong call, but I would just say to, don't just stick to it because it's not working. If you had like a 2-day period of 3 ROAS and now it's gone to like this, then I'll be like, maybe it was the inverse, right? Maybe this isn't the fluke, but the fluke was the 3 ROAS. But if you was at the 3 ROAS for like 2 weeks and the last few days you've been at this, oh, actually, how long have you been at the dip?
So the dip, okay, let me just double check. So we launched on Friday 4th. So between the 4th and the 18th, we were doing, so we were about 2.8, 2.7, about 3-ish. And then we decided to scale up because we were there for 2 weeks. So we increased from 300 a day to 350. But from the 18th onwards, we were just having a terrible time. So 18th to 24th, I took a look, or maybe 18th to 23rd, so about 5 days. I was taking a look, and our 2 biggest, so we put it in a CBO. So we had 3 interests. We had a broad lookalike and an interest. Facebook decided in that CBO to give most of the budget to the skincare and the broad. So the interest in the broad, just because, they were doing good. They were doing well. I was actually beating the lookalike for a fair while in terms of ROAS, at least. So I was happy to let that continue. But then between the 18th and the 23rd, we ended up spending 2.5K, and those 2 campaigns just dropped to so I'm just not sure if that was we should have let that.
I would go back to 300 a day, right, before you scaled, because that's definitely been a catalyst. Like that broke things for sure. So I would go back to 300 a day, and I would duplicate everything, or duplicate like your best winners, and that should get you back on track.
Right. Okay.
And also do new ads as well.
Yeah. No, we're actually testing new ads at the minute. Because there's a good chance of ad fatigue setting in. So we're hot on trying to anticipate that early. So wait, you said to duplicate the ad set rather. Was that it? Duplicate the ad set. And then what sort of spend would you give it?
What it was originally.
Oh, I see. Okay, because what we've done right now is I've scaled back down to 200, and I've given the lookalike wasn't getting enough spend, so I just turned off the broad, the other 2 ad sets that had been doing poorly for the past few weeks. It's a massive increase for the lookalike, so I'm worried about it exhausting. So would you say just turn for that original campaign, put it back to where it was originally, and then duplicate, or duplicate now? And what's the point of, is that kind of horizontal scale? Is that a horizontal scaling approach then, basically, or?
Well, no, it's the idea of clusters, right? Like, when you scaled, you might have got promoted into a different cluster in the audience. So when you obviously run the ad to an audience of 1 million, you're not going to the 1 million people, you're going to a 50,000 subsection of the 1 million people, whatever. So when you scaled, you might have, as I say, got promoted into a different cluster, and that cluster within the 1 million doesn't work as well. So you can definitely just say, duplicate it and you go into a different cluster. I would descale as well, because I think that's been a catalyst for the dip in results.
Right. Okay. Fine. But you'd be okay with turning the old audience, the old ad set, the 2 underperforming ad sets back on, right? And so basically put everything back to where it was and just descale everything, because it's a CBO with 3 ad sets in it.
Don't turn them back on. Make sure you duplicate them.
I see. Just duplicate them and then
duplicate them and turn this current stuff off, because it's been running for a week. And it's not performed for the week. So that needs to get turned off.
Okay, fine. All right, fair enough. I see. Okay, right. Gotcha. Awesome stuff. Thanks a lot, Kai. That's everything from me. And cool, man. Have a good rest of the day. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, likewise. All right, back to the top. Adam.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I forgot to ask one more thing regarding the tracking of the results, right? Because as I was saying, it gets it gets like broken down in the add to cart section. Oh geez. And what's happening right now? Oh yeah, there we go. Because like the her campaign that she launched, you know, like with the free ad spend for the Facebook shop, like it gets tracked normally. Like you can see everything, you know. But these two, like this top one and this bottom one, those are that I've created, and they just don't get anything. Like even this one. So when I want to track this, whether it's like fold of the pixel or whatever, like where on the Shopify should I verify whether it's like correct tracking or not?
Yeah, I think it is correct tracking. I don't think it's completely off. But go into Shopify, go into orders in the top left, and then open up an order.
Right here, or
see like Rachel down the bottom. Sorry, not that far. If you scroll up, see Rachel there.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Open it up.
I
just click it.
Yeah.
Just click it.
Oh.
I should ask actually. Have you got UTM set up?
I believe not. Or what's UTM? Sorry.
Okay, yeah, this won't work. So just watch this video in the Facebook group. I will drop you the link to it.
Okay.
But what you would do though is you would then open this up as you've done here. You would scroll down, and on the right hand side you'll see a section called conversion summary. Yeah, and then you go over on the right hand side just there. If you scroll up a little bit, conversion summary, you can go view, yeah, just scroll down a little bit. See on the right hand side, bottom right.
No.
Further over. On the right hand side.
Shit, man. Sorry, like right and left is really
yeah,
not
you're
my
right.
thing.
Yeah, that's it. View conversion details.
So sorry. Yeah.
That's all right. And then in here, you'll see all of the, so you can see conversion details, total sessions, days to conversion, then you see activity. So you can see first session from Google, they return one time, and then they converted after a direct visit. So when you set up UTMs, which you'll use this video I'm about to send you here to do so, you'll see it will say converted by this UTM, and you know that UTM is from your ad.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, one more thing regarding the events and the event manager, like I'm getting error with page views, I believe, or view content. I'm not sure right now, over and over. Like all the other ones with purchase and stuff, they disappeared. But yeah, but this one with view content, this keeps going back over and over. And actually, like in the diagnostic, it says like check that you're sending valid and unique values for the external ID, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we've had this same issue, but we've not worried about it unless it's on purchase.
Yeah, so like I can just ignore this one.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And when it comes regarding the events, I've already, I mean, when I do manage events, I have just 5 of them. As you were saying, as we were speaking with the guy previously, like the ad payment info is not really important, right? Like this shouldn't really be set up, or yeah. And can I manage the events right now, even though I'm running campaign, because it says like that it can, affect it.
Yeah, if you change it, then it can affect some of the campaigns.
Yeah, so I should just wait. Yes, I just should wait until both of the campaigns, the one that I'm running and the one that she's running, until they're finished, and then like redo this?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. I'm gonna watch the video and set everything up. Thank you so much.
Awesome, man. I dropped that link in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. No worries. Saurabh.
Sorry, Kyle, for coming again. My question is for service delivery. So with this subscription brand, I tell you before, so they have $1,000 per month budget. So how would I split budget between cold and retargeting? Can you please guide me?
How big is their retargeting audiences?
They have a list of customers, those who subscribed but leave for whatever reason, of around 1,000 peoples.
Okay, so you could do like 80-20 split.
80
top of
20
funnel.
80 cold and 20 retargeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question is, how would I follow them if they haven't replied or anything within 1 or 2 days
What do you mean?
about paying invoice or anything? They haven't paid invoice.
Oh, just bump the message up. Just follow up. There's nothing specific that you can say. Just bump the message.
I said that like pay your invoice, or I just follow
No.
and said,
Don't say it like that. Don't say pay your invoice. Just say, hey, just wanted to check up. It's been a few days since we last spoke. Just wanted to make sure everything was all good, question mark or whatever.
okay.
So something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah. Thanks, Kai.
Cool.
Have a
No
nice
worries.
day.
Alrighty, last up here.
Hello, Kai.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. I recently joined a program like 3 weeks ago. I also talked to you on Instagram DM, and
Nice.
today I completed week fifth, which is about sales, and now I'm making now I am plan to practice sales by colleagues on the from the groups. But the thing is that uh, do I need a website to start a like an agency?
No, not necessarily.
So in that case, if I don't go with the website, so how can I manage onboarding process? And like if I approach somebody regarding my services, so I think there might be must be my some kind of online presence, so they can take idea of that, yeah, that guy doing that kind of work and this all. But I am beginner in that field, like till now I didn't work with anyone. So how can I overcome with that? Like it's kind of procrastinating things are going in my mind since last week.
Yeah, you don't need a website. I mean, it's if you can have one, then yeah, it's good. And obviously, I gave you an entirely plug and play funnel in Quantum Leap, which is in the last week of the program. And for the onboarding side of things, you can just do it over a call.
Okay. One more thing, like the funnel you provided, it's on ClickFunnels. So could you please provide me funnel for WordPress? Because I think WordPress don't like WordPress is cheap as compared to ClickFunnels.
Yeah, you can do it on WordPress. Yeah.
So can I convert that ClickFunnels website funnel into a
You just have to
WordPress
copy it over. You won't be able to convert the actual plug and play, but you'll be able to obviously just build it yourself in WordPress.
from the sketch? Okay. Okay. So
Cool.
yeah, that's all.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. I hope all go.
Oh, I just muted you. Sorry, dude. I'll unmute you again.
Okay.
Sorry,
It's
what was
okay.
that?
Yeah. One more thing is that I don't feel that much confidence while jump on the like I kind of effort of sales call or discovery call because I never spoke with someone in that professional way and all. And the script today I go through that. It's kind of pretty long and all. So how can I practice that more and all, make them perfect?
Put it in the group, man. A lot of people make posts in the group, and they'll say, "Hey, who wants to jump on like a like role play,
Yeah.
and do role play sales calls?" You can do that. That will really build up your confidence. But obviously, prior to having an actual sales call. But honestly, the best way that I found that really helped me improve my confidence and whatnot is just being on sales calls, right? And fucking up in real life with somebody on the other side, like, who's like really on you, right? They're listening to every word you're saying, they're really taking it in, and you know that they are. That's the best way that I was able to increase my skills, to be honest. Just kind of being in the trenches.
Correct. Literally. And I have one more question.
What was that, sorry?
Just leave it. Actually, I forget about that question. It's okay.
Okay.
If anything, I will post it on the Facebook group.
Yeah, put it in the group, man. Daniel will get back to you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Bye-bye. All right, nice lengthy call there tonight, guys. I hope, as always, it was useful. Hopefully it was valuable. And as always, Daniel will actually upload this call recording in the Teachable portal along with all of the other ones. And you'll be able to go back and obviously listen through. So with that being said, I deeply appreciate your time. I hope it was useful as always, and I will speak to you next week.